Imagine standing at the edge of your dreams. You can see them clearly, shimmering just out of reach. You know they're yours for the taking. But there's one thing standing between you and them. That thing isn't luck. It isn't talent. It isn't opportunity. It's self-discipline. The truth is simple. Self-discipline is everything. Without it, potential is wasted. Without it, talent fades. Without it, dreams remain just that, dreams. Every day the world tests you. It throws distractions in your path. It tempts you with comfort, with shortcuts, with the easy way out. And every day you have a choice. You can give in to instant gratification, or you can push yourself further than you thought possible. You can choose the path of resistance, the path that challenges you, that demands more of you, that requires focus, commitment, and consistency. Because here's the secret. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't intelligence. It's not resources, it's discipline, the relentless, uncompromising, everyday action that turns dreams into reality. Think about it. Every successful person you admire, they didn't get there by waiting for the perfect moment. They didn't get there by relying on motivation alone. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. Discipline is constant. Discipline is the bridge between knowing what you want and actually achieving it. It's waking up early when the bed is warm. It's putting in the work when no one is watching. It's choosing long-term results over short-term pleasure over and over again every single day. Self-discipline shapes your identity. It tells the world, and more importantly, it tells yourself who you are. If you discipline your mind, your body, and your actions, you become unstoppable. You can't rely on feelings because feelings are temporary. Discipline is your anchor, your foundation, your superpower. It gives you control over your life when chaos surrounds you. It allows you to rise above excuses, to reject mediocrity, and to refuse anything less than your best. The challenge is simple but brutal. The brain wants comfort, the ego wants approval, and society tells you shortcuts are acceptable. But comfort and shortcuts don't create excellence. They don't lead to fulfillment. They only create regret. Discipline is choosing discomfort today for a stronger, better tomorrow. It's delaying what feels good now to experience what is life, changing later. It's making promises to yourself and keeping them even when it's hard. Because the moment you master discipline, you master freedom. The freedom to live life on your terms, to achieve what others call impossible, to rise above circumstance. Here's the thing about discipline: it compounds. Every choice to act, every time you show up, every time you push yourself past resistance, you grow stronger. You don't just build habits, you build character. You don't just gain results, you gain momentum. Momentum fuels action. Action produces results, and results reinforce discipline. It becomes a cycle, a rhythm, a force so powerful that nothing can stop it. You might think discipline is restriction, but it's actually liberation. It frees you from doubt, from fear, from wasted time and wasted potential. It turns the ordinary into extraordinary. It turns chaos into clarity. It turns a life of what if into a life of I did it. And when you look back years from now, the moments that will define your life won't be the easy days, the comfortable days. They'll be the days you chose discipline, the days you chose action, the days you refused to settle for anything less than greatness. So ask yourself right now, are you ready to take control? Are you ready to commit to the uncomfortable, the difficult, the disciplined path? Because that path is where dreams live. That path is where potential becomes reality. That path is where winners are made, not born. Discipline is everything, and it starts with one choice, one action, one commitment right now. Self-discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. It is the invisible force that turns thoughts into actions, ideas into results, and potential into achievement. Every person on this planet has dreams, aspirations, and goals that excite them. We all have visions of a life we want to live, accomplishments we want to reach, and the version of ourselves we hope to become. But the problem is that most people stop at dreaming. They spend their energy imagining the life they want, hoping for motivation to carry them, wishing circumstances would align perfectly, and waiting for the right moment to start. The truth is, dreams alone are meaningless without discipline. A dream without discipline is like a car without fuel. It might look impressive, but it will never go anywhere. Discipline fuels the journey. Discipline pushes you forward when motivation fades, when challenges appear, and when the easy path tempts you to quit. Discipline is the action that gives life to your dreams. Think about it for a moment. Every success story you admire, every person you look up to, every achiever you see didn't just stumble into greatness. They didn't wait for perfect conditions or for luck to smile on them. They built habits of discipline. They made consistent, intentional choices that aligned with their goals. When they didn't feel like working, they worked anyway. When obstacles arose, they persisted. When distractions called, they focused. This is the essence of discipline. It doesn't rely on feeling motivated or inspired. Motivation is temporary. It comes and goes like the wind, unpredictable and unreliable. Discipline is constant. Discipline is the commitment to take action regardless of how you feel, the promise you make to yourself to stay consistent, and the refusal to let excuses dictate your life. Self-discipline is not a punishment. Many people misunderstand discipline as restriction or limitation, but it is actually freedom in disguise. When you master discipline, you gain control over your life. You no longer let emotions, circumstances, or external factors decide your path. You no longer chase fleeting pleasures or instant gratification at the expense of your future. Instead, you make intentional choices that serve your long-term vision. Every act of discipline is an investment in your life. It is a deposit into your future success, health, relationships, and happiness. Each time you choose to do what is hard today, what requires focus and effort, you are shaping a future where your dreams become your reality. The power of discipline lies in its compounding effect. Small, consistent actions might seem insignificant in the moment, but over time they accumulate into extraordinary results. Think of it like planting seeds in a garden. One seed might seem tiny and insignificant, but with consistent care, watering, and sunlight, it grows into a strong, fruitful tree. Each disciplined choice you make is a seed planted for your future. Reading a book when you feel tired, exercising when your body wants rest, focusing on your goals when distractions pull you away. These choices add up. Over months and years, they compound, producing results far greater than what most people achieve without discipline. Discipline also builds character. It is the foundation of integrity and self-respect. When you follow through on commitments, when you push yourself beyond comfort, when you prioritize what matters over what is easy, you cultivate an inner strength that no circumstance can shake. You become someone who can be trusted, not just by others, but by yourself. You stop living reactively, responding to every whim or challenge, and start living proactively, taking control of your destiny. Discipline teaches patience, persistence, and resilience. It teaches you that success is not a single event, but a series of intentional actions carried out consistently over time. Ultimately, self-discipline is everything because it is the engine that drives progress. It is what transforms ideas into outcomes, visions into accomplishments, and dreams into reality. It is the difference between those who talk about what they want to do and those who actually achieve it. It is what separates the average from the exceptional, the hopeful from the unstoppable, and the dreamers from the doers. Without discipline, talent can be wasted, opportunity can be missed, and potential can remain untapped. With discipline, even the impossible becomes achievable, challenges become stepping stones, and your life becomes a reflection of your highest aspirations. Consistency beats motivation, and understanding this truth is one of the most powerful shifts you can make in your life. Most people wait for motivation to strike. They wait for that sudden burst of energy, for that feeling of inspiration that will push them forward. They believe that feeling motivated is what creates results. But the reality is harsh and simple. Motivation is fleeting. It is temporary, unreliable, and unpredictable. It comes and goes like the wind. One day you feel unstoppable. The next you feel exhausted, distracted, and uninspired. If you rely solely on motivation to achieve your goals, you will inevitably fail, because motivation alone cannot sustain action over time. The people who accomplish great things, the ones who rise above ordinary circumstances, understand a critical principle. It is consistency, not motivation, that creates extraordinary results. Consistency is the practice of showing up every day, regardless of how you feel. It is taking action when your body wants to rest, when your mind wants to procrastinate, when the world around you is chaotic and full of distractions. Consistency is choosing the disciplined path over the path of least resistance. It is making small, deliberate choices repeatedly, knowing that each choice compounds into something far greater than you can see in the moment. While motivation may push you for a few hours, a few days, or even a week, consistency builds momentum, and momentum is unstoppable. Momentum doesn't require a perfect mood or perfect conditions. It only requires you to keep moving forward, one step at a time. Think about the power of small actions done consistently. Reading just a few pages of a book every day might not seem like much, but over months and years, it can transform your knowledge and perspective. Exercising for 30 minutes consistently might seem insignificant at first, but over time, your body strengthens, your health improves, and your energy skyrockets. Saving a small portion of your income consistently might feel trivial, but eventually it builds financial security and independence. The magic of consistency is that results are not immediate, yet they are inevitable. Each action, each decision, each commitment creates a ripple effect that grows, multiplies, and shapes your life in ways that isolated bursts of motivation never could. Consistency also strengthens your character and your self-belief. Every time you follow through on your commitments, even when it is difficult or inconvenient, you prove to yourself that you can be relied upon. You begin to trust yourself, to see yourself as capable and resilient. This trust in yourself is far more valuable than any external validation. When you are consistent, your identity shifts. You stop identifying as someone who struggles to start or who gives up easily, and you start identifying as someone who follows through, someone who perseveres, someone who refuses to quit. Your actions repeated over time define who you are far more than your intentions or your feelings ever will. Challenges and setbacks will come. Life will test your commitment. Motivation may falter, but consistency is what will carry you through. It is the unwavering dedication to your goals, the refusal to surrender to temporary discomfort or distraction, that ensures progress. Discipline, routine, and repeated action form the backbone of consistency. When you commit to a schedule, when you honor your promises to yourself, when you push forward even on days when it feels impossible, you build a foundation that cannot be shaken by circumstance. This is the secret that separates those who talk about their dreams from those who actually achieve them. Ultimately, consistency beats motivation because it creates results that last. Motivation can spark an idea, but consistency turns that spark into fire. Motivation may push you forward for a moment, but consistency carries you through the long journey toward mastery, excellence, and achievement. It is the compound effect of repeated, deliberate action that transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary success. The person who wins is not the one who feels motivated the most, but the one who refuses to stop, who shows up every day, who honors their commitments and stays the course. Discipline shapes identity. It is not just about what you do, it is about who you become through what you do consistently. Every choice, every action, every decision contributes to your identity. The truth is that we are not born with fixed identities. We create them every day through our habits and behaviors. When you exercise discipline, when you honor your commitments, when you choose what is hard over what is easy, you are sending a message to yourself about who you are and what you are capable of achieving. Your identity is not a label that others give you. It is the collection of your actions repeated over time. If you want to become someone who achieves extraordinary results, someone who stands out in a world full of mediocrity, you must build your identity through discipline. Think about it for a moment. If you constantly give in to distractions, if you consistently choose comfort over effort, if you repeatedly ignore the commitments you make to yourself, what does that say about you? It says that you are someone who lacks control, someone who is easily swayed by circumstances, someone who allows feelings and impulses to dictate your life. On the other hand, when you consistently practice self-discipline, when you push yourself to do what must be done even when you don't feel like it, when you honor your word to yourself, you build an identity of strength, resilience, and reliability. Discipline is the mechanism through which you declare to the world, and more importantly to yourself, who you truly are. Discipline shapes identity because it is not a one-time effort. It is a lifestyle, a pattern of behavior, a series of deliberate actions that define the essence of your character. Every time you wake up early to work on your goals, every time you resist temptation in favor of long-term gain, every time you push past discomfort to achieve progress, you reinforce the identity of a person who follows through, who perseveres, who refuses to settle for mediocrity. Over time, these repeated actions solidify into a self-image that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. Your habits, guided by discipline, sculpt your sense of self. They create a version of you that is consistent, capable, and unstoppable. One of the most powerful aspects of discipline is its ability to align your actions with your values and your vision. Your identity is not just about what you do in isolation. It is about the alignment between your behaviors and the person you want to become. Discipline allows you to act in accordance with your highest priorities, even when distractions or challenges tempt you to stray. It ensures that your actions are purposeful and intentional rather than reactive and impulsive. The person who masters discipline lives in congruence with their values. They act in ways that reflect their aspirations, not just their momentary desires. In doing so, they strengthen their identity and build an unshakable foundation for success. Discipline also builds confidence and self-respect. Every time you honor your commitments and push yourself to do what is necessary, you prove to yourself that you can be trusted. You learn that you are capable of following through, that you have control over your choices, and that your actions define your reality. This self-trust is one of the most important aspects of a strong identity. When you know who you are and what you stand for, when your actions are aligned with your vision, external challenges and setbacks lose their power to define you. Discipline turns uncertainty into certainty, doubt into conviction, and fear into courage. The reality is that without discipline, potential remains unrealized, talent goes unused, and goals remain unachieved. Discipline is what converts dreams into tangible accomplishments and transforms ordinary individuals into extraordinary ones. When you commit to shaping your identity through disciplined action, you gain control over your destiny. You become the person capable of facing challenges, of enduring discomfort, and of achieving results that others might consider impossible. Identity and discipline are inseparable because who you are is a reflection of what you repeatedly do. Every act of discipline is a statement of self-definition, a reinforcement of your purpose, and a step toward becoming the best version of yourself. Short-term discomfort creates long-term freedom. This is one of the most powerful truths you can understand about success, achievement, and personal growth. Every meaningful goal, every extraordinary accomplishment, every life-changing breakthrough requires you to step into discomfort, to endure challenges, and to push yourself beyond what feels easy or convenient. The human brain is wired to seek comfort. It wants safety, predictability, and immediate pleasure. It craves the easy path, and while this instinct is necessary for survival, it becomes a trap when it prevents you from taking the actions required to create a life of significance and freedom. The reality is that the path to true freedom, freedom of choice, freedom of financial independence, freedom to live life on your own terms, is paved with moments of discomfort. Those moments are not obstacles, they are the gateway to growth. Think about the most successful people in history, the ones who achieved greatness. They did not reach the top by avoiding discomfort. They did not create empires or transform their lives by waiting for convenience or ease. They embraced the hard path, the difficult choices, the sacrifices that most people are unwilling to make. They understood that short-term pain or discipline is not punishment, it is investment. Every act of delayed gratification, every choice to work harder, every time they pushed through fear or resistance, they were planting seeds for a future that would reward them far beyond the temporary struggle. Discomfort is the training ground for strength, resilience, and freedom. Short-term discomfort comes in many forms. It might be waking up early when your body craves rest. It might be saying no to temptations that provide instant pleasure but destroy long-term results. It might be putting in long hours of focused effort when others are taking it easy. It might be having difficult conversations, confronting fears, or making decisions that challenge your comfort zone. These moments are uncomfortable because they push you to act in ways that your mind and body instinctively resist. But each time you endure discomfort, each time you choose the disciplined action over the easy option, you gain power, control, and freedom. You become the master of your choices rather than a slave to your impulses. One of the most important aspects of embracing discomfort is understanding the difference between immediate gratification and long-term fulfillment. Immediate gratification feels good for a moment, but it often comes at a cost. It can delay or even destroy the results you want to achieve in life. Long-term fulfillment, on the other hand, requires action that may be difficult, inconvenient, or uncomfortable in the moment, but produces outcomes that are life-changing, empowering, and lasting. Discipline is the bridge between discomfort today and freedom tomorrow. Every time you choose delayed gratification, every time you endure discomfort, you are investing in your future freedom, in your ability to live life on your own terms, and in your capacity to achieve your highest goals. Discomfort is also a teacher. It shows you what you are capable of. It reveals your strength, determination, and resilience. When you push through what feels hard, when you refuse to back down, when you endure challenges that others avoid, you develop a sense of confidence and capability that cannot be taught in any other way. You learn that you are stronger than you thought, more disciplined than you imagined, and more capable of achieving your dreams than your fears tried to convince you. Discomfort is a sign that you are growing, that you are stretching beyond your previous limitations, and that you are building the life you want through deliberate action. The ultimate truth is that short-term discomfort is the price of long-term freedom. No one ever achieves mastery, success, or fulfillment by remaining in their comfort zone. The people who succeed, who create extraordinary lives, who reach heights others only dream of, are those who understand that the struggles of today are the foundations of tomorrow. They endure what is hard now so that they can enjoy what is liberating later. Every sacrifice, every moment of discipline, every act of courage compounds into freedom. The freedom to live on your terms, to achieve your vision, and to experience life at the highest level. Discipline compounds. This is one of the most powerful principles in life, yet it is often overlooked. Many people underestimate the impact of repeated, consistent action. They believe that success comes from a single breakthrough, a lucky moment, or a sudden burst of effort. The truth is that greatness is rarely born in a day. It is forged over time through the accumulation of small, disciplined choices. Every decision you make, every action you take, contributes to a compounding effect that either propels you forward or holds you back. Discipline is the engine that drives this effect, turning tiny efforts into massive results, ordinary days into extraordinary lives, and potential into reality. Think about it like interest in a bank account. If you deposit a small amount consistently, over time, the growth becomes exponential. At first, the results seem slow, almost invisible. But as the days, weeks, and months pass, the compounding effect accelerates, producing outcomes far greater than what could be achieved through sporadic, intense effort. The same principle applies to discipline. Every disciplined choice you make, whether it is investing in your education, exercising consistently, maintaining focus on your goals, or prioritizing long-term gains over short-term pleasure, adds to a momentum that cannot be stopped. What starts as a small habit becomes a lifestyle. What starts as a single choice becomes a pattern, and what starts as repeated effort becomes extraordinary results. The power of compounded discipline lies not only in the results it produces, but in the person it creates along the way. Each act of discipline strengthens your character, your resilience, and your self-belief. Every time you push past resistance, follow through on a commitment, or make the hard choice, you reinforce the identity of a person who can be trusted, who can persevere, and who can achieve anything they set their mind to. Discipline transforms not only your circumstances, but also your sense of self. You become someone who acts with integrity, someone who prioritizes what matters over what is easy, and someone whose actions naturally align with their goals. Over time, this identity compounds alongside your results, creating a life that reflects your highest aspirations. Discipline also creates freedom. It might seem counterintuitive at first. Discipline feels like restriction. But the truth is that the more disciplined you are, the more control you have over your life. The more consistent you are in your actions, the less you are at the mercy of external circumstances, impulses, or fleeting motivation. Discipline builds the foundation for financial independence, health, relationships, and personal fulfillment. Every choice you make today that aligns with your long-term vision strengthens your position for tomorrow. The compounded effect of discipline gives you options, opportunities, and the ability to live life on your terms. Without it, freedom remains an illusion, and your life is dictated by circumstance, emotion, and chance. Challenges and setbacks are inevitable, but discipline compounds even in adversity. Every time you overcome difficulty, every time you endure resistance, and every time you act despite fear or uncertainty, your momentum grows stronger. You learn that setbacks are not the end of the road. They are accelerators of growth when met with disciplined action. Discipline allows you to navigate life's unpredictability with confidence and determination. Each challenge you face and overcome becomes another layer in the foundation of compounded success, preparing you for even greater achievements in the future. The key to leveraging compounded discipline is consistency and commitment. It is showing up every day, doing the work, making the choices, and following through even when it feels uncomfortable, inconvenient, or exhausting. Small actions repeated consistently produce results far beyond what most people imagine. What seems insignificant in the moment accumulates into extraordinary outcomes. What seems impossible in the short term becomes inevitable in the long term. Discipline is the multiplier of effort, the engine of progress, and the secret to transforming ordinary effort into extraordinary success. Every day you choose discipline, you are investing in yourself, in your dreams, and in a life that exceeds what you thought possible.